Welcome to Behind the Mic with AudioFile magazine. I'm Joe Reed. Leslie Fine is with me for the week, and we are talking audiobooks. Hello, Leslie.
Hi, Joe.
I'm waiting.
So today we have a memoir. It's called The Harder I Fight, the More I Love You. And it's by Neko Case, an American singer-songwriter. And she's sharing stories about her childhood and growing up and how she got her start in the music business.
And she's also the narrator, correct?
Yes, she is. She does a great job.
Yeah, so she had what a childhood.
Oh my goodness. I did not expect. I knew I'm a fan of Neko Case. I love her music, and I thought, "Oh, this sounds so interesting. I can't wait to see what this is all about." And I'm always interested in like an artist's story. You know, how did I get into this sort of thing? What inspires me? And yes, she goes back into her childhood, and oh, her early years were very, very challenging, to say the least. I don't wanna give too much away just because listening to it and hearing the stories unfold to me was part of the appeal of this, but you have to admire her tenacity and her resilience, how she bounced back from a really difficult growing up. And the way she performs the book, she's almost matter of fact as she's telling about these hardships that she went through. And it just inspires this admiration for her strength. You know, that's not to say that it's all, this bleak tale. She has plenty of lighter moments. She has funny stories interspersed. Her voice is just it can't be beat. Of course, she's a singer, but I mean, reading this, she has this beautiful lilt to her voice in some places, when she's talking about horses or she's talking about music, the people that were important to her growing up, all of those things, you can hear it in her voice. And it's just a great exploration of an artist's life.
Well, what I find so interesting about her, I like her music very much as well. There is an entire genre of miserable childhoods, and people transcend them and become great people. And this is so eccentric. It's so unexpected.
Yes, like how on earth did you make it through this? Oh, many times as I was listening, I thought, "No way." And you think like, if I were in your shoes, would I be able to talk about this like this? I just have great admiration for the way she told the story.
Yeah, and the memoir comes from a Substack that she started during COVID. And she makes no bones about it. I mean, she started the Substack because, she needed money.
Yeah,
And
oh, I did
and
read
it
that. Yes.
yeah, and it grew into a memoir, which I think is really interesting too.
I don't There were so many moments in this, and maybe because of, like, I understand that the time period when she grew up, we're not that far apart in age, but I thought, "Oh my gosh," like, I remember this, like, it was definitely, in addition to learning about this person's upbringing, it was kind of a little time machine, going back and remembering like, "Oh, yeah, I remember that band," or, "Oh, I remember doing that too when I was a kid," things like that. It
Mm.
it really was very and really, to me, a big part of it was her voice, the way she delivered it, a great glimpse into someone else's life.
Well, why don't we hear that voice? What do we have?
So, this is from early on in the book. I like the way it starts, and I love the incorporation of details. So, this is just kind of an early on anecdote from Neko Case's childhood.
All right. This is The Harder I Fight, the More I Love You. It's written and read by Neko Case.
Here's something about me. I have never seen a ghost. That probably doesn't seem odd, but no one wants to see a ghost more than I do. I guess I just want it too badly. My eagerness is repellent to them. I represent no thrill. I am too easy. I've never seen a ghost, but I have been haunted. It was by a recurring dream I had as a little kid. In it, I'm about 4 or 5, shopping downtown with my mother, eye level with shopping bags and strollers and folded umbrellas. I remember Dolly Parton's face looking back at me from the cover of her album in the window of the Payless store. She wore denim and a bandana on her head, like my mom did sometimes, and big hoop earrings, too. Her smile looked so warm and entrancing. I think that part was based on real memory. We were on Holly Street. I had walked it a million times. heading to the Bon Marché where my mom worked waiting tables in the department store's cafe. I sometimes went with my dad to pick her up after her shift, and often she'd let me get a box of chewy toffee caramel from Scotland.
Quirky is exactly the right word for it. I mean, the way it starts off with talking about that ghost. I wanna go see a ghost, don't wanna see me. I'm too needy for a ghost.
Right? And that kind of humor is there throughout, there's just this I don't know, I just feel there's something really sweet and understandable about it.
And really, a compelling reading. She really does pull you in.
She does, it's wonderful to listen to.
All right, that is The Harder I Fight, The More I Love You. It's written and read by Neko Case. That is pretty fabulous. Thank you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow, Leslie.
Thank you.
And Friday, I want to let people know we are introducing Parking Lot Classics, which is going to be a monthly bonus edition of Behind the Mic. And we'll talk about one audiobook that we consider timeless, regardless of the publication date. These are the stories and performances that remain fresh, lively, and immersive. That will be this Friday, Parking Lot Classics. You will not want to miss it. Support for Behind the Mic comes from Dreamscape, the publisher of The Tenant, by #1 New York Times bestselling author Frida McFadden, and narrated by Will Dameron and Christine Lakin. I'm Jo Reed. I'll talk to you tomorrow.